Because of why I search the deep through endless nights, no time to sleep. The call inside I can't deny. I'll find the light because of why.
Everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're diving into a story you probably think you know inside and out. But trust me, there is so much more going on under the surface.
All right, so let's get right into it. Why did France really give the Statue of Liberty to the United States? I mean, we all got the school book answer, right? It was a gift. But the real story? Oh, it's way more complicated. And honestly, way more fascinating. We're talking politics, propaganda, and get this, one of the very first massive crowdfunding campaigns in history.
So yeah, the official story, the one we all know, usually kicks off right here. A gift of friendship. And look, that's not wrong exactly. It was meant to celebrate the 100-year anniversary of American independence. But that's just scratching the surface. In reality, that friendship was, let's just say, a little bit rocky back then. So, it begs the question, what was really going on behind the scenes?
Okay, to peel back that first layer, we've got to go back in time. The year is 1865. The American Civil War has just ended, and believe me, everyone in France was watching very, very closely.
The whole idea for the statue actually came from this guy, Edouard de Laboulaye. He was a big deal, a famous French historian, but more importantly, he was the president of the French Anti-Slavery Society. For him, this monument wasn't just about 1776, it was about celebrating the end of slavery and the victory of the Union, which he saw as this massive win for democracy all over the world.
And here's the crazy part. The proof is literally hidden in plain sight. I mean, it's built right into the statue. If you look down at her feet, something most people miss, you'll see it. She's not just standing there, she is actively stepping out of broken shackles and chains, an undeniable symbol of abolition. But wait, there's more. Laboulaye wasn't just thinking about America. Nope, he had his own political game he was playing back in France, and it was a pretty risky one at that.
You got to understand, France in the 1870s was an absolute mess. It was in total turmoil. So Laboulaye and his friends, they looked across the ocean at the United States, a country that had just torn itself apart in a civil war, but came out the other side with its republic intact, and they saw a blueprint. They saw a model for the kind of stable, liberal democracy they wanted for France.
So you see where this is going? The statue wasn't just a gift. It was also a brilliant piece of political propaganda. It was a message aimed squarely at the French people. The sculptor himself said he wanted to glorify liberty over there, hoping he'd find it back home one day. By holding up American liberty, they were basically saying, hey France, this is what we should be aiming for.
All right, this next part is one of the biggest myths about the whole thing. This was not a gift from the government of France to the government of America. Not even close. The real story is actually so much cooler.
It was a gift from the people of France to the people of America. Think of it like one of the world's first giant crowdfunding campaigns. The deal was, the French people would pay for the actual statue, and the American people would pay for the pedestal it stands on. And this was all funded by everyday folks, shopkeepers, workers, even school kids chipping in. No government money.
And just try to wrap your head around the sheer scale of this. The French people had to raise enough money to build a 225-ton statue out of copper and steel. I mean, that's just massive.
And then, over on the American side, getting the money for the pedestal was its own saga. It took 125,000 different people to donate, and that only happened after a huge newspaper campaign basically saved the project from completely falling apart.
But here's the most amazing number of all. The average donation from Americans was just 80 cents. 80 cents. That just goes to show you, this was a truly grassroots effort, built by thousands and thousands of regular people just giving what they could. Yet when the fundraising for the pedestal just completely stalled out, the famous newspaper publisher Joseph Pulitzer stepped in. He launched this incredible campaign in his paper, The World. He called out the wealthy for not chipping in and made a direct appeal to the common person. And the best part, he promised to print the name of every single person who donated, even if they only gave a penny. It was genius. And all of this brings us to the final and maybe the most fascinating layer of the story.
The idea that what the statue means wasn't set in stone. In fact, the meaning that we all think of today, that wasn't really what the creators had in mind at all.
So the statue's official name is Liberty Enlightening the World. The whole idea was that American liberty was like a beacon shining out to the rest of the globe. But over time, its whole identity shifted. It became the mother of exiles, a symbol of welcome for people coming into America.
And this transformation didn't just happen overnight. It really started with a poet named Emma Lazarus. She wrote The New Colossus, the famous poem, for a fundraiser. But then the poem was kind of forgotten. It wasn't until 1903, almost 20 years later, that a friend of hers managed to get a plaque with the poem placed inside the pedestal. And as millions of immigrants started sailing right past her, that poem gave Lady Liberty a whole new voice, a new job.
So let's circle back to the main question. Why the gift? Well, as you can probably tell by now, there's no easy one-sentence answer. It was a monument that was packed with different meanings right from the get-go.
It really was all of those things we talked about all rolled into one. It was a nod to an old alliance. It was a huge statement about the end of slavery. It was a clever political message for folks back in France. It was an incredible symbol of what regular people can do when they come together. And, maybe most importantly, it became an icon so powerful that its meaning could evolve right along with the country.
And I think that's the real magic of Lady Liberty, right? Her power isn't just what she meant in 1886. It's that she can hold all of these different stories and meanings at the same time and still have room to inspire new ones. It really makes you wonder, what will she mean 100 years from now?
Hey, if you found this deep dive interesting, do us a huge favor and hit that like button, share it, and subscribe so you don't miss our next one. We'd genuinely love to know what you think. Let us know in the comments what the Statue of Liberty means to you.
All right, that's all for this one. We'll see you next time on The Explainer. Take care, everyone.